Right, big data is often stored in a huge data warehouse. And if you think this data warehouse is just a mass of servers and hard drives storing this data, it's often difficult or impossible to visualize the data. So visualize data in terms of visualizing what the data is about. It's just a huge amount of data. So one method of sort of visualizing what that data set is about is known as a fact-based model. So fact-based model for representing data. So this is where the data is deconstructed into a series of facts. So as you're analyzing the data and you come up with a fact, you could store the fact, which those facts, they becomes a fact based. Those facts are stored themselves, and then those facts can be used as a simplified visual model of the data. So this fact base, based on the model, based on the data, is almost like a um, simplified version of this huge data set. So you could look at those facts and then you've got a decent idea on what the data is about. So if you look at the example below, you can imagine there's a huge amount of raw data about Tom. Okay, so to visualize what that data is very difficult because the raw data we know, big data comes in unstructured and structured form. It could be a real mess, all this huge amount of raw data. But if when you're analyzing it, you can work out some facts and then those facts are stored, you could look at those facts to help you visualize the data. So you could say here, look, Tom works for Google at a certain date. Tom lives in San Francisco at a certain date. Tom lives in Los Angeles at a different date. Tom is friends with somebody from Facebook. Tom is friends with somebody else from Facebook. Now, having them time stamped is quite important because otherwise facts could clash with each other. Because both Tom living in San Francisco and Tom living in Los Angeles could be true, but obviously if they weren't time stamped, they would seem contradicting, and you probably wouldn't believe in the data set. But with them being time stamped, you can obviously move to different locations at different times. So timestamps are quite important because otherwise facts could be deemed to clash with each other. But yeah, this fact-based model is one way of visualizing a huge data set.